Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Roundup, our monthly guide to the games that we have played in the past 30 days. Looking back at April 2024, I'm Zoidberg, and joining me for this month's episode, we have UKGN Pad and UKGN Teru. Good evening, guys.
Hello.
Hey.
Someone's excited to be here.
As always, we're going to go through the games that came out this month in the order of release, rather than doing it in any other way. But before we get on to those, April saw the release of both Grounded and Sea of Thieves on PlayStation consoles, which are both games that we've played, both games that we have liked as well. And as far as I'm concerned, it's really nice for PlayStation owners to finally get a decent online multiplayer co-op game that's not overcooked. I mean, I suppose the closest you get would be Helldivers, but that's a shooter rather than a cozy game like Sea of Thieves is. Although, obviously, pirate battles are not very cozy.
It's a lot better now that we've got the Safer Seas option, so you only got to deal with the environment and not the other people.
So let's move on to the games that actually came out in April. Although the first one is a game that came out on the PC 2 years ago, but it has finally come out on consoles as of the 4th of April this year, and that is Freedom Planet 2, which is a Sonic the Hedgehog style 2D platform game. Came out on PlayStation, Switch, and Xbox. I bought this one on the Xbox, and I really enjoyed playing what I've played of it so far. I think it's a game that you probably would enjoy as well, Pat, because you do like your platform games. Also released on the 4th of April, we have Turbo Golf Racing, which finally came out of early access. It had been available in game preview as well on the Xbox, and I was actually quite surprised that the price for this game when it finally came out was only £8. Normally games like this would be around the £20 mark, so that was a nice pleasant surprise. And it also seems that with the version 1 release that it's included a more sedate version of golf, because normally in the main matches of Turbo Golf Racing, all the players normally race along the courses at the same time as each other, but when you play the more regular golf option, you take your shots one at a time, like you would do out on a normal golf course. And I find it pretty enjoyable, but like all online games of this type, you have to question how long it's going to exist for, more than anything else. So it might be enjoyable, but am I still going to be able to play it 5 years from now? Probably not. Released on the 9th of April, we had Botany Manor, which came out straight to Game Pass. This is from a company called Balloon Studios, and this is the latest in a long line of first-person puzzle games. If you enjoy games like, is it the Spectrum Retreat or Superliminal, or was it Numa, the one that you played all those years ago, Pat?
Yes, I quite like Numa. I didn't realise it was that kind of game.
If you enjoy games like that, then Botany Manor fits quite nicely into that genre of games. And this is a game that I know Teru has played and finished.
Yeah, and I am not one for puzzle games at all, but this is the perfect level for me, because it's not make this convoluted jump from that requires logic of a genius to do. It's all about observation. All the puzzles are about observation of what you see from the clues, and that is the perfect level for me, to the point where it's just like, it's been a great game for doing your Game Pass achievements on the rewards app and everything, but it's just like, no, I want to play more of it because it's just good. There were two criticisms over the whole thing. One of them's mine. My own fault, I should say, is that I didn't know there was a run button until pretty much the second to last day I was playing it. And the only other genuine criticism about the game is that when you're collecting clues, yes, it marks them off that you've collected them, but you can't there's no quick view of these clues. You've got to go back to them where they are in the game.
I found that element to be quite annoying as well. I was trying to solve one of the puzzles, and I had to walk all the way back through the house to a completely different area just to look at a piece of paper. And it would have been so much easier to be able to bring it up in a menu. And if you're into that kind of thing, it's also a very easy 1000G.
Is that a dig at me?
No.
No, it's generally just like a really easy 1000. Like there's nothing stupid about any of the achievements.
So if you are a Game Pass subscriber, it's one that I do recommend you play. The next game is also on Game Pass, and that is Harold Halibut, which is it's a stop motion animated adventure game, kind of science fictiony, all set in a big underwater colony, and it's apparently been in development for about 8 years, which looking at the animation style for it is I can kind of understand.
The animation is absolutely amazing. Like if you don't care about anything else other than the visual aspect of it, it's worth looking at. I
mean, it's definitely a game that I want to play more, and I think I want to like it more. But it's not really grabbed me so far. Is the problem that I have with it? I think the start is taking a bit too long to get to a point. It's one of those games that when I get a little bit more time, I probably will sit down and play it properly, because it's definitely my kind of game. Because it's kind of like a point and click adventure, but you control the character rather than a pointer, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, Grim Fandango style.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Next game came out on the 18th of April, and it is Arc Runner, which is a game that we actually got a key for from the publisher, and this is a third-person roguelike for up to 3 players. Very cyberpunky in its visual style, and I do like a good roguelike. And again, I've not really had the time to play it as much as I want to, but it's certainly a looker. It's definitely a game that I just like Harold Halibut, want to play more. And I think it is another game that you'd probably enjoy as well, Pad.
Okay, got it installed, waiting to play, just not had the time.
Oh, going on vacation with your family?
Yes. I will play more games rather than go on holiday with my family.
Yes. Yeah. How dare you go on holiday? Next up is a game that Pad has played. This is Tales of Kenzara Zao, which came out on the 23rd of April. This is the latest game to be published under the EA Originals label, which is the label that's brought us games like Unravel, It Takes Two. When I played it, it seemed like it was pretty decent, but it just made me want to go back and play Prince of Persia: the Lost Crown, which came out in January. I would imagine the developers of this one are probably very annoyed that game came out first.
I think it's a Metroidvania for people that have never played a Metroidvania before. Very easy and very predictable is the best way I could describe it. So there was only 2 tricky points in the whole game that I found, and they were right at the very end. Disappointed me the most with it was just how repetitive. A little bit of jumping and then a battle. But you could tell when the battles were about to arrive because you'd walk into a big open space with a couple of platforms in it, and you think, oh, they're about to spawn. When I watched the trailer before I played the game, it didn't really show much of the game. It just showed people's other influencers' reactions to it. Going, oh, look, it's very pretty. And that's amazing. I didn't feel that at all.
Well, a lot of the press just before the game came out was talking about the story and the characters and everything like that, and I did find myself thinking, yeah, but what's the game like? That's the important bit. I want to know what the game's like.
Yeah, I agree. I also read on the news about, like they say, the story of the characters, even the music score for it. I can't say that I paid any attention to the music whatsoever.
I can't say that the soundtrack was particularly memorable.
No.
You still you still liked it enough to finish it, though.
I did finish it. I do like Metroidvania games, so I wanted to go through and finish it. As a Metroidvania, though, there wasn't enough collectibles. The collectibles were very predictable. As soon as you go into a new section, you could look at the map and you could pinpoint exactly where each collectible was. I said to you, with how predictable it is, you can already tell that there's going to be more Tales of Kenzara games because of even what the title is.
Well, yeah, there is that.
Seeing as you play a character who is Zhao.
Yeah.
Well, it's Tales of Kenzara, Zhao, which means there's going to be more Tales of Kenzara and there are going to be more stories within the game. Everything was too predictable, but it was good. It was pretty. Playing it in performance was a lot better than playing it in quality mode. In quality mode, that I played it, I thought it was too slow.
I think it defaults into performance mode as well because
does
because that's what I played it in. I tend not to bother changing on games.
Yeah.
I just play in whatever the game defaults to.
If you're a big fan of Metroidvanias, then you're going to have probably the same opinion as me of it's too easy. But if you've not tried a Metroidvania before, it's a very good starting point.
Released on the same day as Tales of Kenzara was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Arcade: Wrath of the Mutants, which is a conversion of a Raw Thrills arcade game, which I had personally never heard of prior to the announcement of this one, and it's yet another side-scrolling Turtles fighting game. But I personally think that anybody who sits down and thinks, "Oh, I fancy playing a Turtles game," is going to play Shredder's Revenge before they play this one.
Yes, Shredder's Revenge was a lot better. Now, this is another game that I finished this month. I'm a big fan of arcade games. Yeah, I was the same. I'd never even seen this one before. Keep in mind, I worked at an arcade. Never even heard of it before. Now, it was okay. It got better the more you went through it, but I think the most disappointing thing was being, born in the 80s and loving the cartoons of Turtles back then. I was more disappointed about what they'd done to Bebop than anything else.
Well, that's the Nickelodeon Turtles TV series that kids get these days, though, isn't it?
Yes, I'm very disappointed with that. He's thin. Bebop was never thin.
Whatever else this game does right or wrong, though, I think the one thing that kills it is apparently the co-op is not online. It's local only.
Co-op's not online.
Next up, we have a game called Another Crab's Treasure, which also came out straight to Game Pass on the 25th of April, and this is a breath of fresh air for the Dark Souls style game. Normally, games like this are all dark and gloomy and sinister. This one is bright and colourful and cartoony, and actually quite good fun with it. As the title would suggest, you do play as a crab, and
Very cute crab.
And you find a discarded fork below the waves, and that becomes your weapon against all the other enemies that are down there. And basically, the different armors that you can find are basically any tin can or shell that your crab can get inside of. I don't think this is going to be a game that anybody who has beaten something like Elden Ring is going to find any challenge whatsoever in this one. But I think the appeal lies in how fun it is rather than the difficulty with this game. So
I've got it installed, but I'm waiting for updates. So I believe quite a few of the achievements are very buggy.
I don't even know what the achievements are, to be honest. I've not looked.
I had a very quick look before I downloaded it, but I thought it's one I want to play, but I want to wait for those achievements to be fixed first. There's still reports of a lot of them being buggy, but not everybody's getting them.
that's never a good thing.
No. And you know what I'm like with achievements at the moment, so that's the only thing that's stopping me play it. Other than that, I really do want to play it.
And then we have 2 more games for this month, which both came out on the 26th of April. First up is Sandland, which is based on a manga that I'd personally never heard of, but it is one that was from Akira Toriyama, the person who created Dragon Ball. So I would imagine there probably are a lot of people out there who have heard of it. As you would expect, coming from the maker of Dragon Ball, the characters in this one are excellent, and I think Namco have done a really good job of converting the look into a game.
I do believe it's getting extra attention at the moment due to the passing of that gentleman.
The gameplay is, from what I've played, it feels like it's another open world action adventure with a bit of platforming, bit of driving around, and like I said before, the cartoon look of it is excellent. So maybe it'll be one that I would pick up in a sale, because at the moment I've only got a copy of it on rental, which will obviously have to go back at some point. And then the final game for this month is the latest PlayStation 5 exclusive, Stellar Blade, which also came out on the 26th. And and I mean this as an absolute positive, this feels like a PS2 game through and through. It's a throwback to the likes of the original Devil May Cry and Metal Gear Rising and Ninja Gaiden, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and watching you play it, it's got the style. Well, it makes me think of the style of the Nier games, especially Nier, the most recent Nier game.
Nier Automata.
Nier Automata. Yeah, thank you. I was like, which one is it? Yeah, yeah. Especially the soundtrack kind of helps give that impression, because it's all the beautiful vocals being the main point of it. Not all the time, but it tends to be the most impactful sounds that have come from that game.
I mean, I would say that the characters, the storyline, and the setting all feel painfully generic to me. I mean, the bombed out city that you're going through is almost exactly the same as the bombed out city in Devil May Cry 5. The part of the game that you would want them to get right is the action and the gameplay, and they do get that right. That because it is really good fun to play. The boss fights are challenging and fun. It's got a bit of it has a little bit of a Dark Souls thing to it, with the fact that you can sit down at rest points and all the enemies will respawn. I would say that this is probably the best PlayStation 5 exclusive since Returnal.
Bold claim.
I mean, obviously it's not better than Returnal. Returnal is still the best game on the PS5.
Yeah.
Although obviously Astro's Playroom runs it a very close second.
Wait, we're going to go off on a tangent here about what could be better, which one's better, Astro's Playroom or Returnal. We'd be here for hours if we did that.
So that's all the games that we played in April. There were a couple of other games that I wanted to play, but we've not been able to get hold of them for one reason or another. One of those being Topspin. If you've played any of these games, then please do let us know in the comments what you think of them. What would be? I mean, I know you've not played many of them this month, Pad, but what would be your game of the month for this month?
I don't know. Probably Turtles. I preferred that to Turtles and Kenzara out of the two that I have played.
And Terry, what would be your game of the month?
I'm allowed to annoy Pad and go Final Fantasy Rebirth.
Last month, wasn't
it? Yeah, but I completed it this month.
You have put more hours into that game this month than any of the other games on this list.
Yeah, but for a game of this month, it has to be Botany Manor.
I think for this month, I probably will join you on the Botany Manor one. Actually, yeah, I think Botany Manor is my game of the month as well. Although Stellar Blade is running it very close. So thank you both for joining me for this month's roundup. Thank you everybody for watching. Please do make sure you give us a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and hopefully we'll have some more games to play throughout the month of May. I mean, it's looking pretty thin on the ground, but there are a couple of good ones coming. So hopefully we will see you at the end of next month. So thank you and see you next time.
Bye bye.